Netflix, Airbnb, NASA, your bank, and probably half the apps on your phone right now all run on the same thing. Most people have never heard of it. It's called AWS. If you've ever felt like the cloud is this vague, buzzwordy fog that everyone nods along to, but nobody quite explains, this video is for you. By the end of the next few minutes, you'll know what AWS actually is, why so much of the internet runs on it, and how all its pieces fit together. This is episode 0, the map before the journey. Let's get oriented. Let's kill the buzzword first. The cloud sounds mystical. It isn't. The cloud is just other people's computers, massive buildings, full of servers that you rent instead of buying. That's it. Instead of buying your own server, plugging it in under your desk, and maintaining it forever, you rent a slice of someone else's, and you pay only for what you use. Think about electricity. You don't build a power station to run your kettle. You plug into the grid, the power flows, and once a month you pay for exactly what you used. The cloud is that same idea, but for computing power, storage, and networking. AWS is the biggest of those grids. So let's talk about what it is. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Yes, that Amazon. The same company that sells books and delivers parcels also runs the largest cloud platform on Earth. Here's the short version. AWS is a giant menu of on-demand building blocks for running software. Need a server? Click. Need somewhere to store 1 million photos? Click. Need a database, a network, a way to send emails? There's a service for each one, ready in minutes, billed by usage. The story goes that Amazon got so good at running its own enormous infrastructure that it decided to rent that capability out to everyone else. It launched in 2006, and today it powers a staggering share of the internet, from tiny side projects to the biggest companies in the world. So when an app you use goes down and you see people saying, AWS is having an outage, this is what they mean. A big chunk of the internet is quietly sitting on top of it. So why not just buy your own servers? 4 big reasons. 1. No upfront cost. You don't spend a fortune on hardware before you've written a line of code. You rent what you need when you need it. 2. You pay for what you use, like the electricity meter. Running a tiny blog? You pay pennies. Suddenly serving millions of users? You pay more, but only while you're actually using it. 3. Instant scale. This is the big one. If your app blows up overnight and 1 million people show up, AWS can grow to meet that demand automatically. And when the rush is over, it shrinks back down. No buying servers you might need someday. 4. Someone else handles the hard part. The power, the cooling, the security guards, the broken hard drives at 3 a.m. All of that physical headache is Amazon's problem, not yours. You get to focus on building your thing. Now, AWS is huge, but it's organized in a way that's actually pretty logical once you see it. At the top, the world is divided into regions, physical locations like Ireland, Northern Virginia, or Tokyo. You choose which region your stuff lives in, usually one close to your users. Inside each region are availability zones. These are separate data centers a little distance apart. Why separate? So that if one has a problem, a power cut, a flood, your application can keep running in another. It's resilience built into the map, and you manage all of it through one place. The AWS console, a website you log into, tied to your AWS account. One login, and the entire menu of services is at your fingertips. Region, availability zone, console, account. That's the lay of the land. Now, AWS has over 200 services, and I won't pretend otherwise. The names are cryptic, and the list is genuinely overwhelming at first. But here's the secret. You only need to understand a handful to grasp the whole picture. And they sort neatly into a few families. This is the map for the rest of this series. Storage, where your files live. The headline service here is S3, compute, where your code actually runs. That's servers like EC2, plus newer styles like Lambda and containers with ECS. Databases, where your structured data lives. RDS for traditional databases, DynamoDB for a more flexible, massive scale style. Networking, how it all connects, both privately and to the outside world. VPC is your private network. CloudFront speeds up delivery, and Route 53 handles web addresses. Identity. Who's allowed to do what? That's IAM, the service that controls access to everything else. And monitoring, knowing what's actually happening inside your system. That's CloudWatch, storage, compute, databases, networking, identity, monitoring. 6 families. Every service we cover in this series slots into one of them, so let's zoom back out. AWS is a giant utility for computing. You rent building blocks instead of buying hardware, and pay only for what you use. It's spread across regions and availability zones around the world, managed through one console. And its 200 plus services boil down to a few simple families: storage, compute, databases, networking, identity, and monitoring. You don't need to learn all of it. You need to learn the handful of services that show up again and again. And that's exactly what the rest of this series is going to do. One building block at a time. That's the map. Next episode, we put down the very first building block, S3, where your data lives, and everything starts to get concrete. If this made the cloud feel a little less foggy, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. We're going to take this giant, intimidating platform and make it click, one piece at a time. See you in the next one.